Hi all, welcome to the Clouds Learners channels. So in the previous tutorial we have already seen that how to create the Windows based instances. Okay, so if someone has not seen yet that tutorial, so I request you to kindly go through that video. And today in the lab we are going to create the Linux based instance. Okay, so as we are in the last tutorial we do the same thing in this tutorial too. First we will understand what exactly we have to do. Okay, then step by step we will create the instance. Okay, so let's move towards our lab. So in our lab 2 we have to create an Amazon machine image, that is AMI, using Linux instance. Okay, so first we will go towards our EC2 service. Once we will move to our EC2 instance service, we will have to launch our instance. Okay, then we will be in that page where we have to choose one AMI, that is Amazon machine image. So here at this time we will select the Amazon Linux, Red Hat, SU, SE Linux or SUSE Linux. Okay, so we are going to create the Linux base, so we will create Linux one, any one of them. After selecting, we have to choose the instance type. So here we will choose once again the free tier eligible, that is t2.micro. We will click on the next. Here we will come across the instance detail. It's your wish. If someone knows how to create new VPCs, so they can create it. Otherwise we will learn in our upcoming videos. Otherwise you can leave the settings as it is. Otherwise one more thing is there, that you can choose among subnets. Okay, the 3 subnets will be there in this region, because we are in the Mumbai region right now, so we can select 3 subnets from there. Okay, we can create on our own subnet too. It's once again it's our wish. So we will create next. After creating clicking on the next, we will come across the add storage page. Here we will see that 8 GB is giving, or 10 GB is giving by default. So if you remember in the last video too, I already said that Windows instances by default gets 30 GB by the Amazon, and Linux one gets 8 GB or 10 GB, right? So why it is so, let me clear you about this fact too. See, Windows are CLI and GUI, means command line interface, and graphics user interface commands are there. Okay, or interfaces are there. Okay, so when it installs, means when Windows gets installed, it needs more memory so that both can accumulate or accommodate over there. Okay, but as far as Linux is concerned, so in Linux we have only the command line interface. There is no graphics user interface, right? So in this we will get only 8 GB by default, and in Windows we get 30 GB by default. I hope this is clear to you. We will discuss more on it when we go through the theory lectures. So I am planning for theory lectures too. That will be after some time, after finishing up all the labs. Okay, now we will click on the next. We will give some tags. It will be your wish once again that what tag you need to mention over there. After that we will come across the security group. Okay, so here you have to create a security group, or you can use the existing security group. Once again it's your wish. But the main thing, one difference is, in Windows we have RDP, if you remember. Okay, but here we have SSH. Okay, that we need to include because we are going to work on the Linux one. Okay, so SSH TCP 22 custom source, it can be as per your IP too. Okay, because we need to give the root from where it has to get access. So it can be by default 0.0.0.0/0, or it can be your IP address. Okay, so it will be your wish once again. Then we have to review and launch, and we will launch our instance. So this is the basic thing that we need to do. Okay, after also we will download the key pairs. After downloading key pair, we will just view our instance. So these are the basic things. Okay, So these are the basic things that we need to do initially for the purpose of launching our instances. Apart from this, I will show you few more things today, apart from this PDF, that what are the other things too that we should look to check whether our instances are configured properly or not. Okay, so let's begin with the lab. So here I'm going to click on the EC2. When I will click on EC2, I will be on the my instance page. Okay, now here I have already one instance created. Okay, so I'm not going to use it. It is in the stop condition right now. Once again, I'm saying either terminate it or stop it. Okay, don't make your instance keep running. Okay, or don't let your instance keep running. It will cost you. Okay, so we need to launch the instance. We will launch it. After launching, what we are going to do is we are going to select one Amazon machine, the Linux one, the free tier eligible. You can select among any one of these, but it should be free tier if you don't want to get cost. Okay, so select. Then here I will choose an instance type. I am selecting t2.micro. After t2.micro, I am going to select these few things. Like subnet I'm going to select, because these are the things that we need to check. As I told you, I will give you few more things in this tutorial, that how you can check it. That is necessary. Sometimes it is necessary, sometimes it is not, but I am keeping it. Okay, so do remember we are using DE2, that is by default subnet, and the by default BPC, and subnet is FC3. Okay, after that we are going to select the storage, that is 8 GB by default, so I'm good to go with this thing. Next we need to add the tags, so I'm going to add name, and this is my Linux server. Okay, next I will be in the security group, so I am using create a new security group. You can create new one or select. So at this time I'm going to select the existing security group. Okay, so launch wizard 1, that I'm going to select, then review and launch. See, this is my complete review for the instance that I'm going to create. So I'm good to go with this thing. I will launch. Now either you can use the existing key pair, or you can create a new one. So I'm going to create a new one. Let's suppose I'm giving it as Linux server, so LINSER. Okay, make it Linux server itself. Linux server. Now download the key pair. Once your key pair gets downloaded, go to the launch instance. Now here we have your launch status. Click on the view instances. Okay, our Linux server gets created. We are good to go with the more things. Now important is how to access this Linux server. Okay, so to access this Linux servers, you need to download either Putty. Okay, from here you can download it, or you can download MOBA Exterm. Both you can download. Both can serve as many more are there. Okay, but by default I am using these two only, Putty and the MOBA Exterm, so I am recommending these two. Okay, so you need to download. Once you will get download, so you will get two things over there. One is the Putty, that is Putty generator, and the another one is Putty. Okay, so what does this Putty do? Actually, Linux server needs PPK file, private key. Okay, but by default the key that we have just downloaded is the .pem, not the PPK version. So this this Putty converts your PM file to the PPK file. Now what you need to do, you just need to load it wherever you have installed all files. If you're not able to see, Linux server.pm, done, save private key. Okay, here I am going to give Linux server, okay, or if you want to append .ppk, you can append it too. Okay, so this is how we need to save. Now if I will refresh this, see, I have Linux server .ppk file. Okay, this is what we done till now. Now go back to our instance. Let's see what is the status of this. Status check. Yeah, now it is up and running. Okay, now let me show you some more things here. See, in the last video we have already discussed that we have public IP address, private IP address, public IPv4 DNS. Okay, DNS name is there, the VPC that is connected to our instance, or our instance is connected to which VPC we are able to see, then subnet ID, and so on. Lots of things are there. So in this, now we are going to cover a few more things. If I will click on this VPC, okay, so I will get a new page where I can see my configuration, networking configuration, I must say. Okay, so see, here my VPC is there. These are the few things that you should see in your Windows too when you will launch an instance. Okay, right now I'm going to check few more things. Subnet is there. Okay, now if you remember, I have told you that you should remember the subnet ID 8FB29FC3. So let's check it out whether it is associated with the root table or not. Okay, so see here, if you will see, these are the root tables. Okay, and if I will go on to the root tables part, so here we will also see some root table. So we are good to go with this thing. Now main thing is, sometimes what happens where you will get error. Okay, many times if you will change your subnet, okay, so in that case you need to associate your subnet with the root table. Okay, we have root table right now. We are using this root table RTB1771E57C, okay, which is associated with our VPC2. But we need to check whether subnet association is there or not. So see, we have subnet associations are there. In case if it is not there, then you need to go for the edit subnet association. Okay, let's suppose if this is the case, if you are opening the route table window and you are getting this, nothing is there. So in this case you need to attach your subnet, otherwise you are not providing any kind of path to access your instances. It goes to both Windows 1 and the Linux one. Okay, so I'm checking once again, it is FC3. So what I'm going to do is edit subnet association, and after this is my subnet which are attached to my instance, so I am going to associate with the root table. Okay, so these are the few things you can check. Also you can check the network ACLs, okay, whether you have provided the path or not. Okay, you can also check these things. So inbound, outbound, what is NACL we will discuss later on. So here you can see we have one rule, allow, and the outbound rule to, sorry, inbound rule to, we have one, allow. So we are good to go with the network settings over here. So I'm going to close it. Okay, so now our Linux server is up and running. Finally we need to access our server, that whether we are inside our server or not, we are able to access our server or not, we need to check. So for this purpose we need to use now Putty. We have already created ppk file. Now how do we use the Putty? See, for using Putty we need to open our Putty like this. This is our Putty app. Okay, as you can see in the PDF here, and this is the running version of Putty. Okay, so here you need to copy the address, IP address. Okay, so either you can put up here IP address directly, or you can do one thing, that you can go to your connect. Okay, now if you will see, this is the user, EC2 user. Okay, you can use this too. Clear? So either you can use EC2 user at the IP address, or you can use only the IP address of it. Where you will get IP address? You will just have to check your server and then IP address. So just copy it. After copying it, paste it over here. The work has not done yet, okay? Because as I told you, Linux server needs PPK file, means Putty needs PPK file to get access to the server. So here you have to click the SSH. Right now we are doing the session part, okay? Now you have to move to the SSH part. In SSH we have auth, that is authentication. Here you have to browse the file. Okay, so our file is Linux server. Just do it and open. Once you will open it, you will get this window. Just accept it and bingo, you are under your server. Now you just need to type EC2 user. See, this is the difference. If you will give in the IP address EC2 user at the rate your IP address, you will logged in as EC2 user. Okay, but right now you have not given it, as we have just mentioned what the IP address. So it will ask us how you want to log in. So I want to log in as EC2 user. So as I will click enter, here we will have the EC2.user login. Okay, so now we have few commands that we can just check to run whether our instance is working fine or not. So let's suppose if you want to change the root user to root, so sudo su. Okay, so it is working fine. We are inside our Linux instance. Now let's suppose if you want to see the list under root, so we have not created any kind of list. Let's suppose if you want to see the whole list. Okay, so these are the files or directory which are by default. Okay, difference is we have not created any file yet. One more thing I want to tell you, that see, here we have the files named as bash profile bash rc.ssh. So these are the hidden files. You know very well, whenever we purchase some memory like pen drive or hard drives, external hard drives, okay, there are some hidden files too. Because let's suppose if we are going to purchase 8 GB pen drive, then if you will open that 8 GB pen drive, you will never get 8 GB, but it will be like a 7.89 or 7.9, right? So few hidden files are there which occupy some memory. So here these are the hidden files. Now let's suppose if we want to create some file, let's suppose we need to create some file. Okay, so let's suppose I have created file 1. So my file is created. Now how we need to see this file? You need to see this file by giving lsal or lsl. If you will give lsl, it will show the visible file. If you will give lsal, it will show whole things. Let me show you once again. List -al. See, I made a mistake. No, sorry. I read list lsal. Okay, see, these are the few basic difference. Okay, so if I am going for the EC2 user lsl, it is showing me only the file which is set to the visible mode. But if I am going to lsal, so we are getting those files too which are not visible to or hidden. Okay, so you can see here. Now here we have dot, but file 1 is there. Previously we don't have any kind of file 1 over here. So this is how you can run command 2. Why I am telling you these commands too? Because as we have launched the Linux instance, so side by side I will put some, or I will upload some Linux basics tutorial too. Because after AWS we are going to move towards the DevOps. So for DevOps we should know some basics Linux command. So meanwhile your AWS is going on, what you can do is you can also watch our Linux tutorial which helps you in DevOps, learning DevOps, I must say, and simultaneously you have enough time so that you can revise the commands too. It will not be in a hurry that from tomorrow onwards you are going to learn the DevOps and today itself you need to learn all the commands. It will not be the case in future. So all the best once again. So today we have launched the instance. Okay, Linux one, I'm going to shut it down now. Now my Linux server is up and running. What I'm going to do is I'm just putting up in the stop stage, or I can terminate it too. Okay, so let's terminate it. So once you terminate it, what will be the case? It will be shutting down, and after some time it will gets terminated. So I hope you enjoyed the lab today too, and my best wishes are with all of you whoever are learning the cloud. Okay, any feedback, any kind of response from your side, it will always be welcome. And last time I got some feedback regarding the visibility of video. It was little bit blurrish or shaky. This time I have tried to improve it, so I hope it will be better this time. So see you guys in the next lab. Okay, in the next lab we are going to launch the web server, okay, using Windows instances. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all.